Welcome to my home studio design video. As you can see, my current home studio setup is not much of a home studio. It's more like my bedroom. So as you can see, that's going to come with some limitations. You know, if you got dressers and things, it's going to limit your space. And while I do have the things, I've got like some instruments. I've got this Scarlett 2i2 audio interface. So I've got the things like the bare essentials to make a home studio, but the space itself is not very organized or very it's not very big. There's not a lot of space here. So the other option that I've had that I looked at in this place, at least, I have a room downstairs that is a little bit bigger. It's downstairs in the basement, so I figured to have little bit better sound isolation. And then it's also got more outlets down there. So there was a few factors that I looked at that right off the bat I thought those are some good options. If you look around, there isn't a ton of outlets in here actually, and I've even had to run some extension cords to some power strips to make it work at all in here. But in one second, I'm going to pull up a little schematic that I drew up of the other room downstairs and see if I can make a little more sense of a little more flowy studio space in there. Okay, so here's my schematic I drew up. Like I said, this room is 10.5 by 9.5 feet. So I do have a little more space in this one down here. I've got kind of the same desk set up here. I've got my computer. The desk has a tray that pulls out that I figured I could keep my little Yamaha Reface keyboard right there. Then this was nice. It had the two outlets in that wall. So that way I've got my power strips can go into those. And then I've got plenty of power to be running my computer, my interface, my keyboard. I have this Black Star amp over here that would probably keep an electric guitar near that just for convenience sake. There'd be my central chair, command post sort of spot. It's still not entirely ideal, but probably the best for what I have in this current house. As you can see, like with these doors opening, they'll swing into some of the zones that I'm using, but you just kind of got to make do with the space that you have. I've got a few different instruments that I'd like to throw in there, and then just like more space over by these other walls in case I have, if I want to bring in my Marshall amp or whatever. I don't have a drum kit personally myself, but if someone were to bring something in, this would probably be my allotted space. I'd throw down a rug there to help with some sound absorption, and then of course just to keep the kick drum from moving around too much. And then kind of similar over here on the left where we'd have the kind of a vocal mic or just live instrument, whether I was doing some violins or saxophone or anything. And again, this is kind of the very base level of this would be what I am able to do right now, just moving things around. Ideally, of course, I'd have more gear, more equipment. For instance, I don't have any vocal mic right now, but if I did have something, my ideal would probably be to get a cardioid condenser mic so that I could get that good dynamic range capture and also hopefully avoid a little more of the sounds coming from the other side here by using that cardioid capture pattern. Now, there is a couple more options even with this closet right here. There's this closet back there, or there's this door leading into an unfinished room. I figured if we wanted more isolation, you could maybe perhaps even make a vocal booth out of this closet, either just putting a prefab booth in there or just, insulating it all up, laying foam. This is beneath the stairs, so it's pretty tapered right there. I actually thought that might be better because then you don't have those parallel walls that cause the flutter echoes and such. With the tapered ceiling under the stairs, that might be better for that actually. So yeah, this closet, if I were to have a little more funding or time, I could maybe make that into a sort of vocal booth and get my best isolation from right in there. But yeah, that's it kind of comes down to how much time and money you have available and how fancy you want to make it. But it's easy to see that even just by moving some stuff between rooms in my house and taking advantage of some natural things, some extra space, some better isolation, and of course just having more outlets. This one has a nice setup of 4 different outlets, and then I can multiply that using my power strips. But that would be my ideal space for a home studio in my current living situation.